Don't forget to miss subscribe button and like. Today we're going to do nothing.
Okay, it's so boring. What have you done in the last 2 days? Have you done anything?
Yes, we just made our Tokyo.
Tokyo? You can't make a Tokyo. You made a Tokyo in Legos?
Yes.
How did you make it?
Because it's on instruction.yo.
Instructions? Did you get them online or did you get some from a Lego set?
From the Lego set.
What Lego set?
Any Lego set.
You sure? Hey, at least we only got Tokyo. At least there's no, London. Is there a London?
Yes.
When did you get to London?
From Thursday, February.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
When did you get London? Welcome back to Lego Pro. Make sure to subscribe and hit like.
And like.
Today we're going to be viewing the Tokyo and London. These are sets 2151 and 2134. And the Tokyo set is the only set you can actually find today. It's $60. The London was $40. Before we start, I just want to talk about the boxes. And after I go over the sets, we'll be going over a small discussion. So this is London, set 2134, 468 pieces, 12 plus. Before those know, London is in the United Kingdom region. Here's the extra pieces. We'll go with that at the end. Near the end of this set review. And then we also have Tokyo. And Tokyo is 2151. Lots of extra pieces. Quotes on the side. And in the booklets, they actually talk about as you build it. There's instructions of what you're building, details, and then there's a nice little words as well about each landmark. And it's on all the pages are black. Kind of looks weird to my eyes. So we're gonna start with London. Actually, we're gonna start with Tokyo. So Tokyo here, as I just said, was 547 pieces. So I'm gonna be sorry if I pronounce these names wrong. From left to right, I do not know what that is. That is the Tokyo Tower. This is the Mode Gakuen Cocoon Tower. This is the Chidori Gafuchi Park. This is the Tokyo Skytree. This is the Shibuya Crossing. And this is the Tokyo Big Set. I'll go through each one. The base actually has Tokyo written on it. This is also a print. The first one is the Tokyo Tower. There's a lot of interesting building techniques used here. It is actually the entire top part. When you actually put it normal building, it looks like this. But this tube at the end actually allows it to be connected to a tube. And it's built backwards. And then they also use windshield pieces for the curves. It's an interesting part usage. There's not much to say about this, actually. And this is the Chidori Gafuchi Park. But I mean, they can't really put the entire park in here. Let me show you the visuals. That's the actual park, and I think they just put a river here. This is the park, and there's not much to say about it. Nice part usage. It's a rare piece. In the back is a Japanese monastery, and yeah, not much to say here either. Then this is to the Tokyo Skytree. Tokyo Skytree is not really. It's just tubes connected to this incredibly long tubes connected to this at the top, and the tubes are just slotted into the volcano piece. So it's not the biggest part usage there. This is the Shibuya Crossing. The Shibuya Crossing here. It's just 1x2 pieces. It's not bricks that are connected. It's 1x2s that are connected to these. And there's a good few prints here too. Rainbow print, triangle print, another rainbow print, and here's the other print. And this is supposed to memorialize all the sidewalks. Another rainbow print and a solar panel print. Now the Shibuya Crossing is like a really large crosswalk. The Shibuya. What did I keep saying Shibuya? There's like 7 different crosswalks. for this lot. It's not accurately put in Lego form. Once again, here's the photo. I don't think it's pretty hard to put diagonals. I mean, there are diagonal tile pieces, but the place where you do have to expand it a few more pieces. And this is Tokyo Big Sight, and just as an exhibition theater. Interesting. And it's actually all connected through this 1x2 with the tube on top, a small little tube on top, connect to a 2x2 jumper circular plate. And this is the Mogakuen Cocoon Tower. This, along with this actually, is connected through axle pieces that are built into the ground, into the base. I'll talk more about the base in a second. I have a lot to say about the base. And I have to break this. So it's actually built with these 1x3 Technic pins. I'm not very versed in Technic names, but 1x3 Technic pins that connect to each side. And since this is depth enough, it can go in these holes. And 3 of them. Repeating that 3 times gives you this. It just slots there. Oh yeah, I forgot. Mount Fuji. It's just a Japanese mountain. And on the back, there's not much more. You need the back of the tower. Anything else? And now the building experience. No, I can't say great. It was a challenging building experience. There's a reason it says 12 plus though. I mean, it was the base building was kind of difficult-ish for me because I bought this kind of second-hand and they kind of just put all the pieces into together. So it was, I mean, it might be different for you. Maybe you're from like larger sets and maybe you'll be fine with this. But for me, it was kind of a challenge, especially building the Tokyo Tower. But the rest of, as soon as you get to the building, it's just like boom, 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 boom. It's easy. So I would advise you just not to dump everything in one box because you can do it with these boxes here. These are all prints. There's no stickers in here, which is a nice advantage actually. The stickerless thing is great sometimes. Oh, I forgot about that print. But there's not much. It's like more uncommon color part usage, like the red pieces, these dark green pieces, sand green pieces, these like spike pieces. There's a lot of uncommon part usage, but we'll get to the but in a second. Tokyo got a lot of extra pieces for all the prints. There's one of every print. Other than that, there's the crosswalks. Not really sure price usage. Here's this. This one is 2 spike pieces. Actually finished London. This is the London. Oh wait, no, not this is the London. Okay, this is the model of London. And another thing you see here, there's no play features. The biggest play feature between these two is that the drawbridge can open and close, and that's because it needs to be so that it looks like semi-accurate. And we're gonna start left to right. This is the National Gallery. And not much here, it's just connected through snot bricks. And then this is Nelson's Column. And there's uncommon part usage. This statue's kind of uncommon. So I will say though, in the book it portrayed it as a different color. I don't know if it's just me, but please don't tell me these colors match. Unless it's supposed to be that way and I just don't know that, and maybe it's just at a bad angle. I don't know, actually. Maybe it's not in those colors. I don't know. 2 water fountains, I presume? Assume those are trees. And this is Big Ben. It's a very famous clock tower with a print. 2. In the building behind it? I do not know. I think it's just Parliament. I don't know. I'm 95% sure it's Parliament, but this is the London Eye, or not the Big Ben. This is the London Eye, and it's pretty huge compared to the rest of the model. This is the largest part about this set, and it's built. Oh, yeah, that's good. It's built with these tubes and with like its bricks connected to them. And this is actually, spoiler alert, not even connected to this. It just stays here. It goes, yeah, this goes there, and this can be like positioned so it can be in the middle. Yeah. And there's the last thing here is the London Bridge. The London Bridge, very big features too. Like for example, these 1x2s. Jumper plates are used to correctly center top parts to the entire bottom parts. Other than that, like port usage, there's nothing there. Not much else. I mean, London, there's two major prints. There's another tube, which is cool, I guess, and another one of those statues. Here they are. And now, let's talk about architecture. Similarly, how to be talked about brickheads. So the architecture line, are you looking at buying this? And not a lot of people would say yes, honestly. Because the architecture lineup is expensive. The least expensive it has ever been. I was looking through brick set for fun. It has been $20, and for a not as detailed model that was built out of just 2x3s and 2x1s, not even like with any details. So it's not very kid friendly to start with price wise, and once you do get your hands on them, you kind of have to wonder, because I mean, it used to be that there's an old video of mine saying how 200 pieces for $20 was decent value. That has changed now. I would say like 200 and there's more pieces put into those $20 city sets that don't have road plates in them. The value of Lego is actually better than it was a few years ago, I would argue. And with all the new pieces they've been adding like every single year, it makes it more valuable. And I was going to open these because the London, this is the old one, but still, 468 pieces for $40. That is good value, you would think. That comes to like 250 pieces for $20. Yes, but you gotta think, there's no minifigures too. There's not playability features. I mean, not every person wants the playability. And I would argue that there's a lot of common pieces. There's more uncommon pieces, yes, but there's also a lot of common pieces too. Like these tiles. I mean, then again, you can argue it's just part of every single set. There's a lot of common pieces. That is true, but a lot of common pieces are put in here. And some of these are smaller pieces. And the price per part ratio is fine on this one, but that's an older model. The Tokyo model deserves a little. This is 547 pieces for another $20. And now you kind of see where I'm talking about the price per value problems when I was talking about London, because it was released like 3 or 4 years ago, but 3 or 4 years, $20 extra. And I just talked about how the city sets have gotten more value at the same price. These Tokyo sets, this architecture set in particular, comes to 547 pieces for $60, which is around a little bit more than 10 cents a piece. It's a lot. And in comparison, Lego city sets at this price are not that great of value either because of the new road plate system, but this is, I mean, you could argue this is some value. There's a lot of good prints. The problem is, this was not built so that you could disassemble it. This was built so that you could put it on display. So that you could, yes, that's the one reason Lego has kept this theme for 15 years now. 15 years. It's a long time. And I would argue this is also a precursor to the 18 plus lineup. And these were the first to get black books. Wow. I don't think even the Creator Expert lineup had black books, at least before 2020. So what are you getting out of this? I mean, yes, you're getting a good parts back, but that Lego did not design it for a good part back. They designed it for how it looks and the appeal of it sitting on your bookshelf or on your table or on your desk or wherever you want to or on your display case. So this isn't meant to be a parts pack, so that Lego's not just gonna give you a great piece. But still, you might argue there's good pieces in here. Yes. And not all the Lego architecture sets are good value. I mean, I'm gonna go back a few years. I'll use a more recent example. The Burj Khalifa is almost entirely consisted of 1x1 cylindrical plates, bricks, and it's $30. This is from a few years ago. And there's one of the recent models. There's a few $40 models now. I think I'll try and like put a few images on it and what I'm talking about here. There was another one. I'll try and remember. Editor, please put that in. And there's this is still a great set. I would still recommend this. It's just not everyone knows what these are either. And you can't say Lego's like they're not telling us about this. But I mean, you should have expected that. 16 plus. That's what it says on Tokyo. I was reading off of it. 16 plus. This was not meant for the person who's just gonna dismantle it. Am I going to dismantle it? Probably not. It's just gonna stay on my display. This is still a great set, as I've been continually saying for the past 8 minutes. But just know that it's only well as a great parts pack for like some pieces. I mean, it's rare pieces. You have to consider these rare pieces. I don't know when you're going to use them. I mean, you might have a case for it. I don't know about that. But these parts pack is not like the parts pack you could use like generally. Like, you know, for building buildings, adding details, I guess there's a bit. You know, like, you guess more of the recent ones, flowers, I guess you could just put the buildings right on there. But really, though, as I've said, this was meant to just stay on your shelf. Make sure to subscribe button and like, and bye!